Hey everybody, forgive my lateness. So sorry, I am actually leaving the post office. I was delivering money spell jars and packages, so forgive me. But the great thing about technology is I can finish my errands while I talk to you all. Say hi, whoever's there. Um, so I wanted to talk to you all. By the way, I'm gonna start doing this every single day around noon if I can. I'm gonna be talking to you all about just spiritual topics and whatever's relevant, whatever we're experiencing in life together. We have a few exciting things going on. If you are not a member of my page, The Urban Alchemist, we are on Facebook. If you search for the @ symbol, The Urban Alchemist 369, you will see that page pop up. Also, in the page, I have a group where we learn tarot together. It's called Unlocking Tarot. Join that. We have lots of fun daily activities and we have a really great community started there. So please join. I'm starting a money manifestation group. We have our first meeting tomorrow. The qualification to join that group is to purchase a money spell jar. You can do that from my website. Sorry, from my Facebook page. The website is going live very soon. And it is a $10 a month subscription or access fee. So that the first meeting is tomorrow. That's really exciting. And yeah, so I wanted to talk to you about crystals. That was the first topic that came up because I had some friends join me yesterday at the shop, the Enchanted Fae in Silver Spring, Maryland. And they were sort of interested in starting working with crystals. One of them worked with incense and smudging, and the other one was just getting started. So I wanted to create my quick how-to guide or practical guide on how to work with crystals because there's a lot of bad information about crystals out there, or there's a lot of mystery around the crystals and how exactly to work with them. And so I'm just going to share some quick advice from my experience working with crystals and what I found effective, okay? So I'm about 1 minute away from my home. As soon as I get there, I will let you all, I'll begin this whole thing, okay? Thank you all for being so patient with me. I had a feeling that I wouldn't be right on time because I was like knocking out errands left and right and it was really productive. Whoever's watching, say hi. I want to know who's there. And if you will, share this in the group if you don't see it. So yeah, one thing with magic, you all, is like, or any spiritual practices, there's a lot of bad information out there, and like the good information is kind of, it's like digging in the sandbox for that one piece of gold. It's the needle in the haystack. So you got to really like know how to recognize good information, and when you get a hold of it, like actually use it. I think that's a part of the spiritual journey. It's like if it were just readily available for everybody, there wouldn't be any merit to it all. So you got to do a little research on your own. All right, I'm parking my car, headed up to my apartment. It's actually a nice day here in DC. It's not super cold. Spring is right around the corner. I'm excited for that. Danielle is texting me right now. Oh, goodness gracious. This is the behind the scenes. This is the life of Gerald, the Urban Alchemist. All right, where is my list? We're gonna do this video on the couch today. Get really intimate. So, Nicole, how are you? Oh, my people, y'all. Love me some Nicole. Yeah, I'm being super productive. I'm so proud, y'all. I just sort of started this daily routine. I've been thinking about it for a while, and I've started doing it. Having quit my job and started my own business, it's like really important to be disciplined about everything, and so I'm finding a way to be more. It's like, oh, cool, Nicole. All right, we won't be long. All right, so the first tip in working with crystals is that crystals are energetic tools. And by the way, y'all, I wrote this list. I didn't have time to really organize it in order, so just maybe at some point I'll reorganize the material, but just listen and take the nuggets out of it, okay? Crystals are energetic tools, okay? So there's lots of there's spiritual tools and they're energetic. There's lots of different spiritual tools that you can use, and crystals are really. But no, the way that they work is they work with energy, and it's something that you can't really see specifically, or you can't really quantify or whatever. Like you won't see its effects, but you can feel the effects, and you'll notice them work in your life. So just understand that's how they work, and they work with like your energetic body and your chakras, and they help transmit energy. There are actual scientific properties that they have. And anybody that tells you that crystals, that's all just like woo woo and it's not real or whatever. Scientists know the effects of it. Crystals are in your cell phones or in your electronic devices, and they have specific properties. So they are legit. Of course, the spiritual property is going to be a little more ambiguous, but as you work with them, you'll become more attuned to their spiritual properties and energy, okay? Um, Allow crystals to do their own thing. Some people consider them as being alive, and it's not so much that they're like living, breathing things like we think of as alive according to science, but they do have, why is this focus on? They do have their own like consciousness and their own purpose for being here and their own mission to fulfill. So they're a consciousness and awareness, and they have a different perspective from humans because they just last a lot longer. So it's like what we witness and observe in our lifespan as humans is like the maximum is like 100, 110 years. So you can imagine the type of consciousness that's developed from a stone or rock that can be around for like however long, millenniums. It's just like a much different consciousness. Um, and then like when they do things, like you'll notice it sounds crazy, but sometimes they like will break themselves or they'll disappear or they'll hide or they'll like walk away with you, like they'll go with you somewhere. They just have a way of that happening. So when they do that, like don't get too attached to a crystal being one thing in your mind because they do have like a mind of their own. And I had a friend who I gave a crystal gift to recently, and the crystal broke like the next day. And I think the friend thought that I would be devastated or whatever because I had just given it to him. But I was actually like, no, it's cool. Like, that's what they do. They kind of do their own thing. It was a really nice piece, too. It was sad to see it, but I mean, that's just what it was meant to do. Um, all right, here's one of my biggest tips that I've discovered is assign different tasks to your crystals. They can do so many different things, you all, and like they're best. You'll feel their energy the most and they're best employed when they are assigned tasks to do or when you have a special designation for them. So, you know what? I've read about that, Nicole. I haven't experienced that, but I have read how the colors can change and your work with them can sometimes crystals will fade if you leave them in sunlight or if you do whatever, or if you just stop working with them, they can fade, but your work with them can bring the colors back. And scientifically, because it is a mineral, it can like you can kind of recharge the minerals or whatever in the crystal or like the moisture levels because they do hold water as well. You can do certain things to bring the color out. So that's really interesting, especially because you have a rhodochrosite, which is a heart chakra stone, and it's pink. I find that the pink ones kind of like can change color more. So it's interesting that you said that. That's really cool. Thank you for sharing. Um, Yeah, assign different tasks to them. There's ways to like charge them for purposes, they are programmable and stuff like that. But like if you can designate certain things for each crystal, they'll actually be like working. You can feel their effect more than if you just have them like sitting on a shelf. They're not really active or doing stuff. They're just kind of there collecting dust. But if you can say like my personal crystals, I have one for like my spirit guide, one of my spirit guides. I have a crystals that I place on my altars, and I have crystals for that are used for like different things I do with like divination and stuff like that. So the more you can assign a task and use it for that, the more you're going to feel its impact and energy. And like I said, they do have a mission to fulfill on their own. So if you give them a task, they're going to like be more responsive. All right. And then some tasks are like, you can use them as spirit vessels, so you can house spirits or like contact spirits through the crystals. You can use them for concentration and meditation, or something to guide, your meditation with. You can scry with them. You can use them to protect your home. You can use them in spiritual baths. You can use them in so many different ways. Those are just a few ideas. Some are great for EMF protection, so you can put them like by your wireless devices, and they'll help cancel out that energy. Crystals are programmable. They store information and emotions. So that's another use that I was just talking about. Like, if you ever like, I have a really strong feeling, and you want to save that for like some spell work that you're doing, or just like you want to store memories or something, you can designate a crystal for that. And then like whenever you feel super happy, you can just download those feelings into the crystal and just let it be a storehouse for that emotion. And then at some point, you can release that emotion into whatever you're using it for. Or if you want to, like, I have crystals that I use for like different deceased relatives or friends. And I take my memories that I have, my special memories, and download them into that crystal and keep it on their altar. So whenever I want to feel close to them, or just want to feel their energy or whatever, it's like I have that bridge. The crystal's like the storehouse for that. Glad you like that, Nicole. Um, Cleanse crystals as needed. Crystals do collect energy. Because they're energetic tools, they can get like dust basically on them or like low vibes. And to keep them working at their maximum efficiency capacity, it is good to cleanse them every now and then. I think the whole hype around cleansing them is kind of like, I won't say it's overrated, but I think a lot of people talk about doing it or they do it more than necessary because they don't really understand the concept behind it. But when you have employed those crystals and the use that you've designated for it, you'll see like when they work really efficiently and you can just feel the clear communication and when it gets kind of like muffled. So it's good to cleanse it every now and then. It's good to cleanse yourself every now and then too because you collect energetic dust and low vibes and things like that. So you can cleanse them periodically. And that also gets them back to their base frequency or resonance because they are energetic tools. They have like a frequency or resonance. And there are different ways you can do that. The best way that I like to use is with sound. If you can just get any type of loud sound, especially like a singing bowl, Tibetan singing bowl, bells, tuning forks, anything with a strong resonance, that's great for clearing the crystal because it's going to like shake it back into its base frequency, its purest frequency. And what it's going to be like is be like a radio station. You know how when you tune a station, you can have a lot of static, or you can get it to come in crystal clear. By you cleansing it, it's getting it back to that crystal clear frequency and removing a lot of that static. So you can use the sound, you can use salt water. Be careful with the salt because I think you only need a little bit of time in salt water. And when you're done, like I'd say just a few minutes. Not all crystals can be submerged because water will destroy certain crystals like selenite. So do your research. But a quick soak in some salt water helps remove. some of the energetic dust. Then afterwards, I rinse it off in running water. You can even use just plain running water, but salt gives a little extra oomph. Um, you can pass it through incense or any type of smudging, and that'll remove some of the psychic dust, the energetic dust. And there are other ways. You can even do it with a visualization or just psychically. You can imagine like a violet flame burning around it, and that removes stuff. There are different tools that you can use. You can Google all this information, you all. Oh, you can even bury the crystals in the ground for a period. And like we were talking about, Nicole, I feel like doing that will help return some of the mineral properties. If you have like a damaged or faded crystal, like putting giving it time in the ground will help restore some of that, like moisture and other properties. So that is definitely a way you can do it. All right, take crystals with you. One great use of crystals is having jewelry because you can keep it on your body. Hello, whoever just joined. You can have it on your body, and it can work with your energetic body because it's on your person all the time. And also, crystals, in saying that they are like living entities or a consciousness, they do get refreshed by like changing locations sometimes. So it's like you can take them with you. One of the crystals I have is just for studying and concentration and taking in a lot of information at once. So like if I ever sit down to like read a book or study something, I have that crystal with me and it helps me just focus. And so that one does a lot of traveling with me because I just take it lots of places. I feel it brings different energy to it. Um, Journal, you all. Journal about your crystal experiences. You may not notice that they're working while they're actually working. I know I normally don't. But when you look back on your life and the things that occur, you may notice that a lot of the properties of the crystals have been working in your life. Like one that's happened with me with is lapis lazuli, which is my favorite crystal. While it's worked, I've not really necessarily known that the energy was working with me. I've never been a strong crystal energy sensor. But afterwards, like I journaled and looking back, I was like, oh wow, all the main themes of that crystal definitely happened in my life. Like I was working on speaking my truth, communicating my feelings more, um, just awareness of like cosmic awareness and work on my third eye. All those things happened during that period. So keep a journal. You'll be surprised. And you should keep a journal for a lot of your spiritual experiences. Like you should definitely have a dream journal. If you work with tarot, you should have some sort of journal for that. And just journal different symbols and occurrences that happen to you. Meditate with crystals, you all. Crystals enhance your meditation because they're energetic tools so they can help you focus. I mentioned how they can record your feelings and experiences, and they also sort of set like an energetic vibe around you. So the more you work with them, the more you like you establish a connection with the crystals, and then they can sort of help you get into whatever state you need to be in when you're in meditation. They have a way of working with you energetically. Sleep with crystals. That is another great use, you all. I never was big on sensing crystal energy, just like by touch, but I find that when I sleep with crystals, and this is a fairly new discovery, your body goes into a different state in your mind when you fall asleep. And thank you for the like, whoever just liked the video. Um, I'll hold my crystals in sleep, and I really will feel like some sort of physical sensation when I hold them while I'm sleeping. Like I can feel the tingling and the vibration in my hands that I don't feel like when I'm fully conscious. Like that stuff that people describe feeling, I feel it when I'm asleep. So keep them with you. Like notice your dreams. Like I just mentioned the dream journal. Notice how they affect your dreams. Um, or how your dreams are when you have them in bed with you. And it's a great way to just charge them with your energy because sleep is like a really intimate time. Um, Make crystal elixirs. That is a great way to use crystals, you all, because the energetic imprint of the crystals can transfer into the water. And then if you're trying to bring some quality of a crystal into your life, you can like literally ingest the water that's charged with that crystal energy. And I also sort of the way we process water and get it these days is weird because if you there's different books on like the qualities of water, but water in nature kind of flows in like wavy patterns, and rivers kind of like bend and curve. But the water, the way that comes in our home is right angles because of the piping. So the crystals help to sort of get it back to that natural, peaceful state. And it charges the water with the energy. So, like, when you drink the water, it just sort of like imbues your body with that energetic quality. So, it's a great way to get in touch with the vibration and the energy of the crystal. And once again, not all crystals are should be submerged. Some of them are toxic, and some of them get destroyed by water, like selenite. So you don't want to you put those crystals directly in water. You can put them beside the water, or you can put them in a jar in the water, but don't put them directly in the water because it'll destroy them and it won't be good for you. So do your research, but that is a great way. And you can also charge that water in the moonlight, which is really good. Great way to get in touch with the crystal energy. Use crystals in spiritual baths. Once again, crystals and water. Like you can infuse the water with the crystal's energy, and that's a way of just crystal spiritual baths are like one of my favorite new things to do because you really need to be cleansing every day if you like are on some sort of intense spiritual journey, like you're at an advanced level and you're trying to attune to the higher forces and energies. That's a great way to get you attuned daily and to just renew yourself. And so the crystals are great for like whenever I make my spiritual bath, I put a little crystal in the water. I have a special one that I use just for that. Charges the water and then it like perfect for your spiritual bath. Um Use crystals in magic rituals and ceremonies. So just like I mentioned how you can store information and memories and energies into your crystals, crystals are great just because they are energetic transmitters. They're great for like, using the corresponding crystals and energies for whatever purpose you're doing in your spell or ritual. So use them for that purpose. And then it's great if you have one that you really have a personal connection to because that's all going to go into the spell and it's going to link it further into you. And along with that, charge crystals on your altar is the other tidbit I was going to say. It's very similar. So I have crystals, you all, that I keep on my altar. And I know that's kind of controversial because some people say don't keep crystals because of the way they like transmit energy. But I have certain crystals that I keep on my altar, and my altars are dedicated to different entities and stuff. So it's like when I do my magic rituals and spells, I can just pull that crystal off of my altar, and it's like having a link from my altar and all of that energy that I built up daily by working the altar. I can use that in my spell. It's like a strong energetic force that you can unleash into the spell. So it's actually really, really great. That's another new thing that I've been doing, and I definitely like recommend that because you're working your altar every day, so you're getting this strong energetic resonance around it. This like imprint. Yeah, my friend just mentioned me. Nicole, I love that you're loving these. Use crystals around. Yeah, use crystals around your homes, y'all. If you do feng shui, which is like just the art of placement in your home, and your home is like a outward representation of you, and it's also the art of like energy flow. You can charge crystals for certain purposes and place them around your home. I have them around my home. The altars are a great place to put them for sure, but you can use them in other ways. They just kind of help set the energy of your home, and that's a really fun way to use them. And it's also really like beautiful. And people, when they come over to your house, it's like a great point of conversation, and it just sets a really nice mood. Crystals like love being in our environment and living with us. Um, be careful with the sunlight, you all. I really don't like to have strong lights on my crystals because I feel like it fades the color and it can be a bit much for them. So like try to keep them out of sunlight. Create crystal grids, y'all. So when you set them around your home, you can do this. You can create grids around your home for whatever intention. But you can also just do crystal grids like on your altar or just set them up in your home. It's a way of like amplifying the power of the crystals because you sort of draw energetic connections between them and then they work together to achieve whatever aim you have. So when you get a little small collection of crystals, you can establish a grid for whatever purpose, and then that will sort of like create a portal or just a resonance to draw in whatever intention you're setting it up for. That's a really powerful tool. If you're interested in that, study crystal grids and also study the Native American medicine wheel because it's kind of based on the same concept. And when you want to connect with the crystal, connect with the crystal spirit. So, like, crystals do have like a sort of spirit or an energy around them, or properties. Just like in herbalism, plants kind of have a spirit. If you really want to learn what that crystal is about, you can do a meditation to connect with the spirit. And that's even stronger than just reading about a crystal because you have your own direct experience of the crystal. So set up a meditation. There's different ways you can do it, but just kind of imagine yourself going into the crystal and then meeting the spirit, like having that entity come, means you can ask them questions, you can get a feel for their like personality or nature. And by you tuning in, you'll learn like exactly what that crystal is about because they all have different like personalities and frequencies and things. Less is more with crystals. I say, rather than get so many crystals and just make a collecting thing, like it's not about the materialism, it's not about having one of everything or three of everything. It's about having a deep connection with that crystal energy. So I say, start off with just get like three crystals. Assign purposes for all of them. Use them as often as possible. Journal your experiences with them. Any cool things that you notice, experiences that you have throughout your day or week. Just journal. And when you understand what it's like working with crystals, then you sort of like set up that connection. I would say then you can expand to get like one or two more, but it's always like less is more. I say it's better to have one crystal that you do 10 things with than to have 10 crystals that you do one thing with. So definitely just like start simple and then you can always expand and grow. But don't get so caught up in the capitalistic need to just buy and have things. Um, Store crystals thoughtfully and respectfully. If you are not using a crystal for a period of time or you're taking a break from working with it or whatever, like that is totally fine. But don't just like leave the crystal because they can like kind of like fall asleep on you or go dormant. Like thank the crystal for its work with you and then put it away thoughtfully, Pack it up in some tissue paper, with some fresh herbs that it would like, or oils, or store it in a note thanking it for it or whatever. Put it away in a closet, um, or a drawer, or put it up respectfully. Don't just like abandon it because you have established a relationship with it and you want to be respectful of it. Also, you all, if you are done working with a crystal or like you sense that somebody else would benefit from it, give the crystal to somebody else. Give it to them because it's like a great gift. And you can kind of sense when they're working with you and when your time is up. If you think somebody will really benefit from that relationship, like give the crystal away. It's a great gift to give to somebody. And it starts their fascination with it and spreads a lot of like good energy. So that is a great use to just I'm really big on giving crystals away because I have so many personally, and I sort of was a collector at one point. And it's like I don't work with all the crystals that I have. I love all of them, but it's like it's better that I give this one crystal to somebody who will really value it rather than just like keep a ton of crystals myself and just have them on a shelf collecting dust. Um, Study crystals, study how they're formed, study what they are, how they're classified, study the history of crystals. Pythagoras is an interesting person to study, but it's a whole world of information and it's hard to find. It's not just like the stuff you read on popular blogs and on Pinterest and memes and stuff. It's not really good information. Like you really need to study what they truly are, how they're used in science and technology, how they were used traditionally, and that's what's going to give you the value for crystals. They come from the center of the earth. They come in all different shapes, colors, sizes, forms. They take so long to be formed. You can find them anywhere. They're just really magical. So study everything you can about crystals and like let it be a journey for you. And that is pretty much all that I have. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. I'm gonna be doing these little posts every single day, and just creating a community like I've been doing. Thank you for tuning in. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I can't